This is Bubblegum Simulator Infinity, a game made by Remo Studios and the sequel to Bubblegum Simulator 1. The game used to pull 350,000 concurrent players at its peak, but today it pulls less than 10% of that. So you might be wondering, what exactly went wrong? Bubblegum Simulator Infinity released April 11th, 2025, and it quickly blew up in its first week. On release, the game pulled at its peak 190,000 concurrent users. And it will definitely be able to pull more during the update this Friday. Actually, on a side note, that update was delayed. But not to worry though, because it was only delayed by just 1 hour. And the game still pulled over 200,000 players during the update. They even added a mini update that Wednesday, which added even more content players could enjoy before the next update. And this grew the game to over 300,000 concurrent users. Unfortunately, all good things have to come to an end. And that didn't last really long. In the second update of the game, we got the first competitive season. You could join a team with your friends or other competitive players and get some big prizes if you were the best of the best. Other than that though, we got a good amount of eggs, a new silly rift, and round cake. But the good stuff lied at the bottom of the update log. A new permanent world will be coming next update alongside a trading plaza. And I'm sure a lot of you guys were excited when you saw that. But when the time came, again, there was nothing. Now, if you were just an iPad kid with no access to any social media, you might have been confused to why that is. But at least the events tab told you when you could expect the update. Just one more day. And with that update right there, the game peaked at almost 350,000 concurrent users. But from there, that number would only decline. The next update we got was the Secret Bounties update. This update added secret bounties, an underworld rift with the Lord Shock, a 200 million visits egg, and a bunch of other quality of life changes. A decent mini update, but people did not like this. And it's mainly because of the board game right here. This right here was nerfed hard. Beforehand, you could just land on an infinity elixir space and get tons of infinity elixirs for days. But now it will just become instant. The player count took a huge hit too. At its peak, the player count reached 266,000 concurrent users. But at its lowest, the game received 180,000 concurrent users. Which is not bad, don't get me wrong. And there was plenty of time to get the player count back up again, because summer was just around the corner. But unfortunately, when the time came around, the update was delayed till the next day. But not to worry, the game still pulled in hundreds of thousands of players. In fact, the game reached 200,000 concurrent users during this time. The update had a handful of things for you to do, some easy secret pets, infinity elixirs were easier to get because of the event shop, and part 2 was just around the corner. The game was doing pretty well. It would be a shame if half of the player count was not even real to begin with. Wait, what? Around early June, Roblox did a massive bot ban wave and Bubblegum Simulator Infinity took a huge hit. As you can see on Rollermons, the game sat at 188,000 concurrent users. And this is on the 5th of June. But on the 6th of June, that would drop down to just 50,000. That's a lot of bots. Other games such as the Pet Simulator franchise took a big hit from this too. But there was more than just bots hurting the game's player count. And that's where we come to these last few weeks. So we are now at the day and night event in Bubblegum Simulator Infinity. The beach festival was going away, but the traveling merchant just arrived and it's here to stay. Alongside that, we also got the light and dark eggs. Though it was a cool concept, it was not enough to bring back the game's player count. Mobile players couldn't even AFK the egg overnight because whenever the egg changed, you stopped auto hatching. So now the devs need to make a good update and fast. Otherwise, the player count was going to drop even more. But again, when the day came, there was no update. In fact, when Sunday came, there was still no update. Monday came along and there was still no update in sight. The player count kept dropping more and more, and the bots came back for a little but then got banned again. But after 3 long days of waiting, we finally got the Dark Island. A smaller copy to the Easter event. Some new bounty pets too, and also these daily perks, but that was it. The update got delayed for that long, we barely had any communication during that time, and now we have a small update with barely any content. You know, it was a big disappointment and the game dropped to new lows. Even Pet Simulator was pulling more players somehow. But not to worry, because we got a sneak peek for the next update at the bottom of the update log again. And as it says here, something is invading. And as you guys probably know, the Blood Invasion was coming back, and I got pretty excited. If anything, this might be the update that brings back some players to bgsi, but it didn't. In fact, it did the opposite. The Blood Invasion update sucked. There was barely anything to do but a quest and a new shrine which is located on the Zen Island, which is pretty overpowered. And that was it. With that update, the game dropped down to 20,000 concurrent players. Prime Pet Catchers pulled more than this. So what exactly went wrong? If you might have noticed, barely any big content creators make content on Bubblegum Similar Infinity anymore. And some creators that blew up primarily because of bgsi are leaving the game for... And it's because of this one thing: trust. People are starting to lose trust in the developers, updates keep getting delayed, and there is little to no communication for days on end. Like, we know the developers can make great updates, but those days never came. And you know, it's disappointing. I thought this game was going to last a lot longer. We're already on update 9 and the game has lost 90% of its players. From these first updates, the game could easily get 200,000, 300,000 players. And now it can't even pull 20k, 30k players. And all we can do right now is just hope something big comes up soon. Otherwise, the game is going to completely die out. But other than that though, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. If you guys still play Bubblegum Similar Infinity, let me hear in the comments below. Also, let me know in the comments below what you guys would like to see from this game in the future. But if you guys did enjoy, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.